Top of the morning to you folks. Sports Degenerate here. I'm in Anchorage, Alaska. There's going to be a lot of seagulls screeching overhead. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they're the stupidest birds alive, but let's not talk about that right now. Let's get down to our down and dirty edition of the Fantasy Sports Morning Report. We're going to start off by talking about Armando Galarraga. You remember him. He's the Detroit pitcher that fired a perfect game, but the umpire mucked up the call at the end of the game, costing him his perfect game in the record books. Well, Mr. Galarraga got some more bad news, this time from the Tigers themselves. They demoted him down to AAA Toledo. They say the move's only temporary, but since he's pitched a 5.61 ERA since his almost perfect game, we may not see him back. Now let's talk about a guy you should have in the lineup. Let's see, let's go to our notes here, and we're going to talk about Marlins second baseman Dan Uggla. Now, this guy has had a scorching last 10 games. He's batting .375. That's a great batting average. And I'll tell you what, he's also really been enjoying the Dodgers pitching, even if the rest of the Marlins have not. Uggla's weather stats are lean and green in Los Angeles, where he bats .176 over his career .260 batting average, with the 5-mile-an-hour winds forecasted for Los Angeles. Now, let's talk about a guy whose weather stats are not looking good at all. That would be Detroit right fielder Maglio Ordonez. Well, he hasn't exactly been knocking the cover off the ball lately, and he's not likely to do very well against the Orioles, even though it is the Orioles. I'm going to tell you what, Ordonez bats .112 under his career .312 batting average, with the 5-mile-an-hour winds forecasted for Detroit. Finally, let's talk about our bumps and bruises. I'll tell you what, if you have Jake Peavy, you're hurting. You have probably lost him until after the All-Star break. He was pitching against the Angels in the second inning, and just as he released the ball, you could tell he was in obvious pain. He staggered off the mound, never came back. And the problem is, as I said, we don't know when he'll be back. Best case scenario, sometime right after the All-Star break. Worst case scenario, he could be gone for a month. You'll have to wait and see. Well, we're going to be back here in Anchorage on Friday, maybe a more picturesque setting, or who knows, I could be replaced by a young lady who is bursting with talent.